Did you know? The Famicom and the NES use different cartridges. Normally, that would mean making separate versions of the games for separate regions that the game was in. However, in the case of the ROB games, all they did was slap a converter on the bottom of the cartridge to make the Famicom games work in an NES. Now you know that Nintendo got really, really lazy with ROB. Howdy, folks! Welcome to Funkadelic. I mean Gyromite. Welcome to Gyromite, otherwise known as Robot Gyro, because like I said, they're lazy. So this guy, you know what? I'm gonna look that up just in case. I don't want to be accidentally racist. This guy is called a SMIC. Not what I was going to say. I'm not going to tell you what I was going to say, but it's definitely not what I was going to say. So you've got test. I already showed you test. I'll save your eyes. Although, seizure warning for direct. I just want to show it off because of how different it is from the version in Stack Up. I love the music in these games. They're so good. So you've got Professor Hector, and a SMIC, and they're hanging out. And when you press a button, it just sends a signal to your ROB and tells it what to do and puts the command in big letters instead of actually saying it. I prefer when it said it in the last game, but I don't know, maybe they wanted to make one game for deaf people and one game for blind people? Who knows? Okay, so, as you can see, there are two different games on here, actually. That's probably how they made up for not having a game on Stack Up. They put two in Gyromite. I'm going to start with Game A, and then I'll show you Game B. I think I prefer Game A over Game B, but enough talking about it. I'm just going to show you. Aw, he looks like a football. Okay, so this game was supposed to be played with a ROB. I know, big surprise. So you press start, and Professor Hector faces towards the screen. You press A to give it a command, or you press B to give it a command, and it will hit the appropriate button on the second controller. Now, you may notice a problem with this. You don't actually need a ROB to play this game. It makes it more enjoyable, in my opinion, but you don't need a ROB to play this game. It's just super duper easy if you just use the second controller yourself. Crush you. Bye-bye. Although I haven't figured out what those radishes are for. All you're doing, really, is making the different pillars go up and down while you're going around the screen defusing dynamite. Whoops, my bad. And once you defuse all the dynamite, the level's over. Then you get to look at the footballs again and go to phase 2. Honestly, this game's super duper slow paced, and I love myself a good puzzle platformer, but I don't feel like playing the entire thing. So I think I'm just gonna beat at least the first 2 levels, maybe a little bit more. And then I'll show you Game B. And then we can move on to something a little bit more, energetic, shall we say. Something a little bigger. Yeah, but this is really all there is to it. You just raise and lower the pillars and collect or defuse dynamite, which in itself is not a bad idea for a game. This would be a lot of fun if the level design was a little bit more complex, or if the pillars moved a little bit faster. But everything's designed for a Rob, and Rob is, as already established, super duperty duperty slow. Alright, that's enough of that. Okay, fun fact, you can't get out of it until the opening intro plays. What? Okay, you need to hit select and then start. That was confusing me. So let's start, let's do Game B. Game B is a little bit different. You don't actually control Professor Hector in this one. All you control are the pillars. And therefore, all you need is your Rob. Same rules applies. You can flash at the screen, but it's not a scroller. And the reason I like the other game better than this one is because this game cannot be enjoyed at your own pace. This is built entirely around the conceit that you have a Rob. And because Rob is super duper slow, that means that this game is super duper slow. There is no way to speed up any of this. You just need to wait for Professor Hector to stumble from one side of the screen to the next side of the screen until he goes into the little brick subway tunnel or whatever that is. And then you keep going. There are 30 levels of this. Again, I'm not going to show you too much because I'm pretty sure you get the idea. But if you want to check it out for yourself, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. I do like the sprite work, at least. I'll say that much. Professor Hector looks good. Okay, see those arrows? That means that's the correct path to take. Meaning, my goal in this one is to just get him up to the top path. Oh boy, that was so hard. You see, that's the problem with this game. Even when it gets harder, it never gets tough. Like, it never gets hard. It's just a little bit more challenging to play at a snail's pace. If you can just press the buttons on the controller, you can do this way faster than it was intended to be played. But Professor Hector doesn't know that, so he's just gonna keep moving like a zombie sloth. So, yeah. I guess that's all I have to show you, really. That was Gyromite. You see why I called Rob a failure? He was very important, and people bought him because they wanted to have their own robot. But he was way too slow to ever make an enjoyable game. I'd honestly love to see him resurrected in modern day. See what they could do with better technology. But that's it for me. I will see you guys next time for the beginning of the rest of the end. I don't know what that meant. Bye.